South Africa is one of the largest steel producers on the African continent. According to the World Steel Association, South African steel manufacturers produced 5.7 million metric tons of crude steel in 2019, second only to Egypt on the continent. The sector has been battling challenges brought on by falling steel prices and energy unavailability, amongst others. The Steel Master Plan, designed by both the industry and government, is the grand plan that's meant to aid the embattled sector. But the industry says government has failed to play its part, and this will cause the master plan to collapse. In his opinion piece, Elias Monage, president of SABC, says the recent announcement by ArcelorMittal South Africa on the potential closure of its operations in Newcastle and Vereeniging, as well as ArcelorMittal Rail and Structural, presents a major setback. Veteran mining expert Peter Major describes the latest developments at ArcelorMittal as devastating.
It is devastating all around. Not just the 3,500 people that are losing their jobs. Those are qualified people. Those are big, expensive assets that are being closed. And if you look at the market cap today of what we used to call ISCOR, ArcelorMittal, I think the market cap is something like 1.3 billion rand. You know, that's probably not even $75 million. You could not replace all these plants for 10 times that, for $750 million if we had to replace those plants. And who would put up the money? Nobody's investing here.
SABC is questioning whether the grand aspirations of the Steel Master Plan to reindustrialize the steel industry are beginning to disintegrate. It says, over the past year, it has made numerous requests for a meeting with the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition on the scrap metal export ban and other wider and arguably more important strategic industrial policy concerns. Its president says the meetings have not materialized and their requests have fallen on deaf ears.
When the Steel Master Plan was launched, Minister basically said is bring and buy. So all the stakeholders, they must then bring something to buy, so that each and every stakeholder, they must bring something to the party. And to date, Minister have not brought one single thing. It's only business that have brought things into the arena, into the event. And that's part of the problem, because if the industry continue then to bring certain things, Minister is not, it then means the entire process or the entire plan goes down south.
Major points to government's failure to spend on infrastructure.
They're spending our money on consumption. They're shipping money to areas that don't build up the infrastructure. And our infrastructure is falling apart. We should be using 20, 30 million tons of steel. It's gone backwards. Now, government's got the budget. They have a 2 trillion year budget, but they're not spending it where they should. Private industry cannot carry this unless you let them, unless you change the legislation to let private industry build these projects. If we could take half this government money and leave it in taxpayers' hands and let private industry do it. But we have a centralized, all-controlling government. They want to control every aspect of every person and entity's life.
Monage accuses the minister of not engaging on key issues such as the scrap metal ban to counter vandalism of critical infrastructure. He says the available data paints a different picture to what the minister says, and that in fact there has been an increase in theft and vandalism. Monage says the scrap metal ban is futile and has failed dismally. He says business will head to court if the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition extends the ban further, as has been indicated by his office.
If the minister goes ahead with this ban, we are willing as an industry to litigate, to basically then take this matter to courts, because time for talking have passed by. If the minister now wants them to take this thing to a different level, we are going to do that.
Monage warns that the industry is quickly losing faith in the Steel Master Plan process. He says their withdrawal from the plan will render it moot. Diaboseto, SABC News, Johannesburg.